Hey guys, John here at learningguitarnow.com, and in this lesson I want to show you how to play a Born Under a Bad Sign style solo. It's similar to something you hear with a duet with SRV and Albert King. It's something along those lines. This solo is in the key of C. It's a 12-bar blues, and I think there's some really cool things to learn from playing the rhythm guitar like this and a solo like this as well. To get the tone for the solo, I used a 1966 Vibrolux with two tube screamers. For the rhythm guitar, I just simply plug straight into the Vibrolux, and I got the settings right here on the page. We'll go ahead and take a look at the first couple licks for free, and if you would like access to the full lesson as well as the rhythm guitar lesson, interactive tab and backing track, check out the All Access Pass. Okay, let's go ahead and start the lesson. Okay, now I'm going to break the solo down for you into 9 separate licks. Once again, this is 12-bar blues in the key of C, and lick 1 sounds like this. Okay, that is lick number 1, and lick 1 starting out in the first position minor pentatonic scale. It's got a lot of attitude happening here, so I'm coming in on the upbeat of the second beat. So you got 1, 2, and then that's when on the 2 and that's right when you start this upstroke. So it's got a lot of attitude. So I'm going up and then I'm raking down. Just gives you a lot of, like I said, attitude when doing something like this. You hear Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, get this type of really percussive type sound. So up and then rake, and then we're going to strike 10th fret on the G string. It's Chuck Berry move. Bar your first finger on the 8th fret of the B and the high E. Now I'm going to slide 11 to 13, moving from the first position pentatonic to the second position pentatonic. Apply a heavy vibrato. Now we're going to let that ring out to the next bar, and then on the basically after the second beat, we're going to strike 11 on the B, 12 on the G. That little phrase there, I like doing that phrase a lot. Second position minor pentatonic scale. So it's just 11, 12 on the G, then 13, back to 12 on the G, and then back to 11 on the B. Now it's a cool little thing where I'm going to do really quickly a down up, just kind of mute. So I do this kind of stuff a lot, and you're here, like I said, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, just getting this literally percussive type of sound. So you got down up. Now I'm going to rake and then go bend the 11th fret on the B string. So slow, you would have this. Now rake. So you got some mute, couple mutes, and then a rake together sounds awesome, I think. Bend that, but don't actually, you're going to get close to getting to the target note, which is our root note C. Then we're going to walk down this riff here, 8, 11, 8. Now 10 on the G, bar your first finger on the 8th fret, high, E and B. Now slide backwards from 11 to 10. Pull off to the 8th fret, 10 on the D. Quick hammer on 8 to 10 on the G string, and then bend slightly that 8. That's that cool sound where you get almost to the major third, but not quite. That's, to me, that's the essence of blues. Minor third, major third tension. For more about that, check out my blues guitar method. Now, just a simple little phrase. And then adding heavy vibrato on that D string. So lick 1, it's got a lot of attitude, a lot of rakes, and that, like, a lot of mutes. And that's a cool way to get from second position minor pentatonic to back to the first position minor pentatonic. It's just a quick mute and then rake. just a lot of attitude. Really cool kind of SRV style pentatonic lick. Okay, so that's lick number 1. All right, lick 2 sounds like this. Okay, lick 2, another SRV inspired lick here. And the first thing we're gonna do is do that mute again, down, up, and then a rake. Now rake, and then that same Chuck Berry thing, first finger barred on the 8th fret. And you're gonna strike, bend the 10th fret on the G, then the B string, and the high E string. And then this classic Stevie Ray Vaughan move you'll hear him do, and all kinds of stuff. Sky's Crying and whatnot. So we're just doing that. Now we're gonna bend 11th fret up on the B string here. Now 8th fret on the high E. Now this is the quintessential SRV move if you haven't learned it already. Just hitting that, bending that, 8th fret on the high E, 10th fret on the high E, and then 8, 9, 8 hammer on pull off on the high E. So you got to learn that if you want to play any kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. If you can't do it good, just make an exercise out of it. End out the lick. You could just use this phrase as an exercise you do every day. And then I'm just hitting this back to 11, 8, 11, 8. And do that in a bunch of different keys, because this little stretch here, this little thing, it's going to feel different in G, E, so the lick that we want to get down as an exercise, that thing, just move it, like I said, to all different keys, and it's just going to improve your playing, and you'll definitely be able to hit that type of SRV lick when doing that. The second part of that lick, I've taught many times before. It's just that bend here on the 11th fret, first position minor pentatonic. You got your root here on the 8th fret, and then taking the 11th fret, now pull it back down and bend it up just a tad. And then I'm going to bar my first finger on the 8th fret, and so I'm going to go high E, B. Now, to just back and forth between those 3 notes. And then I'm going to release the bar and then vibrato the 8 at the very end. Just a quintessential SRV lick. You hear it on Sky is Crying. So that little lick has a bunch of things SRV does a lot. So you definitely want to get those moves down perfectly. Okay, so that is it for lick number 2. Okay, lick 3 sounds like this. Okay, lick 3, it's not really that difficult of a lick, but there's a couple of things to take note of that you want to include in your playing if you're not doing it already. So the notes are not really that difficult. All first position minor pentatonic, going down the scale here, 8th fret, high E, 11, 8, 8 on the B. Now I'm going to do this thing where I slide 10, 11. But the key is to take a rest. Just that little rest right there gives the lick more character. Now come back and then pull off. But we're not sliding, we're just cutting the note off. Pull off 10 to 8 on the G string, then 10 on the D. Now, the other thing, key thing about this lick is bending that 8th fret, that's that minor third, slightly. And then hitting this here, 10, and then rolling your finger to the 10th fret. You hear Clapton do that a lot. A lot of blues players will do that kind of move. It's right before we're going to the 5 chord. But it's really a cool little move. And it's not really that difficult to play. You can put that in slow blues, shuffle blues. It doesn't really matter. You just got to know that. I would practice that in all keys as well. I added a rake to the very first note. Also, you could add a rake to that bend, like go back to the lick, and you got this. You can add a rake to that 8th fret little bend there, and the first one. I could also pop the first note with my finger. So that's another thing you want to take note of when learning these licks. Learn the notes and the way I'm doing them, and then take all the little extra things I've taught you in all the blues technique and the blues technique course and some of the other courses. Just change the nuances around, and you have a completely different lick. So any little pieces of these licks, you know, just because I'm playing the lick 3 like this, doesn't mean that that's the lick that you always have to use. A lick is just something I'm using to teach you these segments. I could call these anything. A lick could just be this. But if I just do that for every single lick I'm teaching in this, every little nuance, we're going to be teaching 40 licks and just, what can be easily covered quickly. There's no reason to do that. But just so you know, this could be a lick. So in this solo here, it could be actually maybe 30 licks. If you just take a couple notes, this could be a lick here. Keep in mind, I'm breaking this down into easy digestible segments. I'm calling them licks, and these licks can also be further broken down into smaller segments, so that are called licks. I'll leave that up to you. It depends on what you would like to use it with, but you could just use lick 3, the first segment. That could be a lick. And then the ending, this could be a lick. So that's another thing to take note of when learning all these licks and the solo. Okay, so that is it for lick 3. Okay, well that does it for this lesson. Like I mentioned previously, if you would like access to the full lesson, rhythm guitar lesson, interactive tab, and backing track, check out the All Access Pass. All right, I'll see you next time.